Okay, it's December 6th, 2015, 1 p.m. Central, and again we are having a very heavy spiderweb fall on a Sunday. This is the fourth Sunday that I've seen this happen. It only happens on Sundays in my area, which suggests a military program where the program office has said carve up the country into different sections and test each section one day of the week. So, fourth Sunday, not in a row because we had storminess, but the fourth Sunday we've had this heavy spider silk, what looks like spider silk, falling from the sky. And it was heavier a moment ago. Mostly what's falling are these little clumps, little circular balls of this silky material. And what is suspicious to me is, okay, there's no adult spiders around. We're having a hard freeze every night. Well, it was 30 degrees last night. I don't see any baby spiders falling from these strands. And also the spider silk is, if it clumps up, it's no good for parachuting. And the spiders can control how much adhesive quality the silk has, I believe. So, it looks to me like a covert military attempt at solar radiation management, or it's still in the testing phase. Another thing I want to say is that this is a migratory route for the Canadian geese. And in past years, we would have tens of thousands of geese flying through this area. And this year, we have a few hundred. So last year, there was very heavy of the old nanoparticle aluminum oxide chemtrails being sprayed as these geese were flying through. This year, it seems like we have 1/10 the population of Canadian geese we had last year. So I think that's a direct cause and effect situation myself. So these chemtrail webs could be an attempt by the program managers to create a less toxic, less hazardous form of albedo modification. In other words, making the atmosphere more reflective without causing so much biological damage. And I also have a friend in the Lockheed Weather Control Zone where they test all their latest weather control top secret weaponry, and he has seen apparently these things being sprayed out of the back of a plane and then later them falling to earth. So if that's correct, then that's exactly what this stuff is. It's a test program. It's the next wave in chemtrail technology. But you know, the big story here is this is a acknowledgement of the incredible peril that the climate is in, that things are completely out of control. You know, there are over a dozen climate feedbacks that are all positive feedbacks. In years of studying climatology and global warming, I have only found one negative feedback. In other words, as the world gets hotter, only one feedback tries to make it colder again. And over a dozen will try to make the world hotter faster. So this classified program is an acknowledgement of how incredibly far over the cliff the climate already is. That these 16 positive feedbacks are now kicking in, piling on top of each other, accelerating the global heating, and as a result, this is an act of total desperation to try for yet another year to keep temperatures within a normal range using any available technology. And why there's such an incredible fight to keep this classified. Because if the population of the world knew how close we are to a runaway climate doomsday, there would be a lot of problems for the ruling classes, namely, well, trials, arrests, etc., which won't chap my hide at all. So hopefully we caught some of these webs falling. Yes, I do see some. But again, it's mostly clumps. Oh, and I have to mention that I've upgraded my microscope technology and looked at many of these samples, and as far as I can tell, the only difference under a microscope is that these fibers are much more reflective. If you use a dark field approach, meaning that the light comes in from the side, then these are very shiny fibers compared to natural spider silk. And I will continue to investigate this. So now I know, on a Sunday, set up your camera. And in fact, you know, according to my friend in the Lockheed Weather Weapon Test Zone, he has seen these fibers coming out of the back of an airplane, a big jet. And then later they fall and you can see them at ground level. So I will attach his text to the description of this video. So, you know, videos like this are really important because if we can break this classification, then eventually these things will go public and we can actually understand the crisis that's happening here on the planet, because things can still be fixed if we all work together and shift our entire technology to carbon-free energy sources. And I don't mean wind and solar. I mean low-energy nuclear reactions, which are now proven technology. And they are rapidly being understood at a physics level. And all coal-fired power plants need to be replaced with this low-energy nuclear reaction technology, so that we'll have zero carbon and also zero disruption to our industrial society. But of course the ruling elites will be left with worthless coal mines. Their stocks in these energy monopolies will crash down through the basement. You know, who cares? They are valuing their net worth and their control over the planet above 7 billion human lives, and even more so the life of the biosphere itself. Okay, so that was my soapbox for the day. Hope you saw some webs falling. It's a real mess, folks. It's a real mess.